Happy fall, y'all. Go ahead and hit save on this one, because I'm going to share with you, over the course of a couple days, although for you just one video, 3 amazing cool weather cake recipes. Spice cake, pumpkin cake, and gingerbread cake. 3 of the best cake recipes I've ever made, ever had, and ever sold. Let's make spice cake. Now, I am making a bigger batch than you will, so I will say and put your ingredients for like a single batch right here on the screen. 3/4 of a cup light brown sugar, 3/4 of a cup oil into your mixer, and start to combine that on stir, or use your hand mixer. While that's mixing, add 4 eggs. While the eggs are mixing in, we are going to prep the most important part of this cake, the spices. Okay, in here I have 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. Now for this next part, you can do it however you like. You could do a teaspoon of ginger, half a teaspoon of clove, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, or you can do what I do, because clove can get overpowering and ginger can get super spicy. You can do 2 teaspoons of a pumpkin pie spice, and then I add a little extra nutmeg. Adjust the spices how you would like, but that's what I do. I'm putting all of those in with the eggs, the oil, the sugar, because we want to get that all nice and incorporated and ready to go. I think spice cake is 100% the most underrated cake. It's delicious year round, but like this time of year, money. All right, now we got all our spices in. We've got our baking soda, or salt, our baking powder. You need 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And then 3/4 of a cup unsweetened applesauce. Unsweetened is important because there's plenty of sweetness already. The applesauce adds an excellent flavor and keeps your cake super moist. Then you're going to alternate 2 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. Do not substitute cake flour here. You want all-purpose flour with 1 cup of buttermilk. If you can't find buttermilk like this at your store, in your baking section, there is a buttermilk powder with a red lid that you can add tablespoons of that and mix it with water. The ingredients are on the back, and that is perfectly fine. I used to use that for years. Pour it into your prepared pan. Bake this at 350 degrees. Now, I can't tell you a baking time because I don't know how you're baking it, but if you're doing cupcakes with this, fill your cupcake liners only 3/4 of the way. Leave some room at the top, because just trust me, because you don't want to overfill. Save it, try it out, pair it with cream cheese icing or regular vanilla buttercream. I'm going to be filling this cake with my homemade apple pie filling, spice cake, apple pie filling, cream cheese icing. That is a killer cake. Try it out, let me know what you think. Hello, we are going to make the best pumpkin cake you have ever had. It's true. It's also the name of the recipe. This recipe comes from the amazing blog and baker and person, Sally's Baking Addiction. Her recipes are phenomenal. I use many of them. She is self-taught, which I love. I've been using her recipes for 8 years, and she just released her own cookbook. But enough about that. Pumpkin cake, half a cup of white granulated sugar, 1 cup of light brown sugar, 1 cup of oil. I am making a double batch. I am going to say and put your ingredients for a single batch on the screen, per usual. Get those mixing. Then you're going to need 4 eggs. Crack those babies right on in. Alrighty, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, and 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. all going in. And 1 teaspoon of salt. I don't think I said that. We're getting that all nice and mixed. There's only a couple more ingredients. This is such a good cake. You guys are gonna love it. 1.5 teaspoons to 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. You decide. 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and get that all nice and combined. Star of the show, 1 small can or 15 ounces of pumpkin. I'm making a double, so I'm using a big old can. And that, ooh, it's so delicious. It's gonna make it a nice natural orange color. Pair this with some cream cheese icing and forget about it. Here it is in all its glory, into a 350-degree oven. I always start with like 22 minutes and then go in increments from there, but we don't wanna dry this out. This is a super moist cake. We wanna keep it that way. Pop it in, and I'm gonna post a picture here of what it looks like when you layer with cream cheese icing, but these make great cupcakes as well. Are you all ready for the final cake in this amazing cool weather trio? Gingerbread cake. If you've never had gingerbread cake, you are missing out. Gingerbread is meant for more than a cookie. In your mixer, you need 1 stick of unsalted butter, 3/4 of a cup brown sugar, and let that mix for like 5 minutes. You want it to be nice and creamy and light, okay? Now, I'm making a double batch. I am saying and putting on the screen what you need for a single batch. Okay, so we've creamed our butter and our sugar. Now you need 1 egg. Obviously, I'm doubling. I'm gonna do 2 eggs. Wash your hands and glove up. All right, you need 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Measure super carefully. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then I suggest 2 teaspoons of a gingerbread spice mix. Now you can make this on your own. I'm going to be using my own blend, which is available for purchase. Just shoot me a message. I like a nice mix because it's easier than buying all of the individual spices at home. If you don't have a need for all the spices, just buy the mix. If you want to do it piecemeal, I would do 1/2 teaspoon clove, 1/4 teaspoon nutmeg, 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, and 1.5 teaspoons of ginger, and then 1/2 teaspoon of allspice. So what I'm gonna do is, I think I need my whole little packet here. Add my gingerbread spice in, and then I like to add a little bit of extra cinnamon to mine, but if you like yours extra spicy, feel free to add a little bit of extra ginger to yours. Or if you love clove, by all means, add more, but clove takes over real quick. While that's mixing, we're going to add our molasses. I recommend the Grandma's brand. I find the Bootstrap brand is too bitter. Need 3/4 of a cup. Here's a little tip. Take your measuring cup and give it a quick little spray with cooking spray. And that's gonna help your molasses slide right on out. And this is what makes gingerbread gingerbread, the spices and the delicious molasses. And that's gonna give it that rich, dark color. All right, now before your molasses goes in, make sure you scrape down the sides of your mixing bowl and get your mixer running. Molasses going in. Once you get your molasses in, you're going to do 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Like, this smells like the fall and the holidays. Oh, it's that rich, gorgeous color. Molasses is messy though. It gets everywhere. I'm telling you, this cake, delicious with a cream cheese icing, with a vanilla icing. But if you haven't tried gingerbread and lemon, my friend Anna suggested it a couple years ago, and now gingerbread and lemon is a must. I'm telling you, even a little soak of like a lemon simple syrup on top of this cake, chef's kiss. Our final ingredient is 1 cup of boiling water. Put it in the same measuring cup you used for your molasses, and it's gonna dissolve that and get it all in there. You can just throw some water in a microwavable cup and pop it in the microwave. Or you can bring it to a boil on your stove, whatever you want. Scrape down the sides, mix that really well, and I'm gonna show you what the batter looks like when it's all finished. Here it is, all finished. Look at that gorgeous color. It is quite a thin batter, so do not overfill pans. If you're doing this as cupcakes, halfway full. I would do maybe, if you're doing like a 9-inch cake, maybe 1.5 cups of batter. If you overfill, it's gonna rise, 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 and as soon as you take it out of the oven, it's gonna fall, and you're gonna have a big canyon in the middle of your cake. Just means you overfilled it for your pan. Bake this no higher than 350, but I've done it as mini cupcakes, mini bundt cakes, regular cupcakes, sheet cakes, all the things. This is super versatile and delicious. If you liked this fall baking video and you like other content like this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, follow, all of the things. I do tons of content like this, and as always, if there's something specific that you would like to see or a tutorial you'd like me to do, drop it in the comments below. I do keep a list and I try to get to them as often as I can, but I'm definitely happy to show you. But until then, I wish you happy baking, and if you try any of these recipes out, let me know what you think in the comments, how they turned out, and I love photos, so feel free to drop a picture.